Okay, what's up, money makers? Welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Diamond Chanel, and we talk about all things money. And I would like to introduce my guest today, William Thompson. He is a familiar face on this channel, but for the people, let's say they've never seen our previous videos together, can you introduce yourself and, tell us a little bit about money?
Hey, audience. Hey, William Thompson. Again, I'm a retired CPA. And basically, Diamond, I'm a cash flow strategist. And that's a fancy way of saying is I'm always trying to find different ways to help people create cash flow, whether that's through stock market investing, a side hustle, real estate, online business, retail business, eradicating debt, tax strategies, money, anything that's going to help people ultimately have cash flow, because most people don't realize that they talk a lot about income but
Yeah.
not about cash flow, and that's what you have left over to do the things in life that you want to do, and not just income.
Yes, yes, love that. So we're going to just jump right in.
Okay.
I want to know from your perspective, what are some great strategies to start cash flowing? But
Okay.
before that, I actually was discussing this with someone, and I want to know your opinion on it, where there is something happening with, I believe it's with millennials and the younger generation, but I even hear older generations talking about this as well, where they feel like the American dream is unattainable, it doesn't exist anymore. People are struggling to purchase homes, which is, one of the biggest ways to build wealth. I feel like there's a loss of hope. Do you see that as well, or do you have any opinions on that?
I do. I have very strong opinions, Dominic, because I have a 22-year-old daughter that's coming out of college this year. And I'm going to briefly share with the audience what I'm sharing with her. It's basically a twofold thing. And one, even getting a job, it's not really in the picture. She may start that way because she has a degree. But I'm saying two things to Joy Victoria. I'm saying, number one, let's find $500, whatever you do to get it that's illegal, let's take $500 and every month put that into what I call an S&P 500 index fund. Do that, okay? Now that's sort of the slow way, because by the time she's 40 or 45, that's going to be probably about $750,000, assuming what the market has done. So I want her to go ahead and lock into that. But the big thing, which we're going to talk about some today, is I'm teaching her how to invest in the stock market, because already she said to me that, Daddy, I have my degree, but I'm not looking for a full-time job. You know what I did, Diamond? I went, yeah, she's getting it. So some of the things I'm going to share today, again, that 500 a month is going to deal with a slow growth for her long-term future when she gets a ripe old age of 45 or so, you know? But she's like, the daddy, right now, I want to travel. Right now, I want to do some fun things in life, but I don't want to be tied down to a job. And my answer to her was, Joe Victoria, let me show you what I've been doing 20 years. I want to show you how to cash flow the stock market and build wealth. And she's embraced that. So that's her game plan for her quote unquote cash flow and employment.
Yes, love that. So you said that you could start with $500. Is that correct?
Well, that's 500 looking from a long-term perspective, whereby
Wow.
you create the cash flow, and then like you're paying a bill to yourself, pay that. But generally speaking, if people have a couple of $1,000s, we do have a few strategies that today we will share with them that they can do. But even as they build that portfolio, even more exciting things they can do.
Gotcha. Okay, well, let's just jump into those strategies because I would love to hear more about it. I'm very new to this whole thing. So just break it down for us.
Okay, great. I'm gonna start with the top and go down. The ultimate goal that I think people should have in the stock market, and again, the ultimate goal, you may not be there today, is a concept of selling puts. Okay, selling puts. And I'm going to share my screen in 1 second because it's going to sound a little strange. I would imagine, Diamond, you're like many people. There's probably a stock in your mind you've thought about, whether it's Amazon or Microsoft or something else that you know these companies that you use.
Yes.
Let's say right now, Amazon's selling for about $180 a share.
Mhm.
And the strategy we teach in selling puts is this, where you sell someone the right to make you buy a stock that you like, being Amazon,
Okay.
at a price that you want to buy it at. Right now, the market has it as 180.
Mhm.
I may want to buy it for 165. So when I sell someone the right, remember, I don't own the stock, but I
Gotcha.
sell someone the right to buy it from me or make me buy it at 165,
Mhm.
and Diamond, people will pay me.
Okay. So I got a couple of questions. So could you,
Okay.
let's assume that the listener is, they don't know anything about the stock market or
Okay.
investing, period. How is that different than, let's say I used like Robinhood or something like that, and I just bought Amazon, a stock in Amazon. How can you tell us like the difference between purchasing puts and then purchasing something, just pieces of the stock?
Okay. Okay. Like, for example, now this is actually one of my trading accounts, and you can see down here, there's good old Amazon right there. Okay. Can you see me circling that?
Yes.
All right. And you can see I own 1,000 shares at Amazon, and it's $177 a share. That's almost $200,000. Okay.
Wow.
But to answer your question, what people would do when they go to trading, whether it's Robinhood, Scott Trades, etc., you go through the same type trading. And I would go here for options. And remember, the general concept is I don't own the stock. However, I want to make some cash flow.
Gotcha.
So what I would do, I'd go hit the little ticker symbol. I hit Amazon. And of course, you can see other ones there. And I would go here, and instead of where it says, see, that's what most people would do to buy stock. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm starting from the highest and working our way down first. I want to stretch your mind early. Okay.
Gotcha.
So if I hit here, instead of buying the stock, I want to sell a put. And I go here, and again, all trading platforms look a lot alike. So what I'm simply doing here is I've done the analysis on Amazon, and so that's the great thing about what we do. We teach anyone how to find the best stocks at the best price, but we'll talk about that later, if time permits. Okay, so I'm selling someone the right to make me buy Amazon, and let's say I'm gonna give them 3 months. And this is April. Let's see, I'm gonna give them down to July.
Hmm.
You can see Amazon's going for about 178. Okay. I'm going to sell someone the right to make me buy it at 165.
Gotcha.
And not that I'm going to make a whole lot of money right away, Diamond, but you can see when I did that, I made $335. Now, again, you're not going to get rich there, but notice it's not going to take a lot of money.
Yeah.
I could literally cash flow a few $100s a month dealing with a well-known stock like Amazon. So to summarize, I did my analysis. It's selling for let's call it 180.
Hmm.
I sold someone the right for about 2 months from now to make me buy it at 165. And they paid me $3.30 a share or
Gotcha.
$335. So again, this is maybe a more advanced strategy, but the key thing, Diamond, it's the concept. And here's the beautiful thing about it. Whether the stock goes up, we make money. If
Hmm.
the stock stays the same, we make money. And if it goes down to 175 and above, we still make money. And most of the time, you can't find a strategy in the market that you can do that with. And that's why I love teaching selling puts when people are ready. Okay.
Gotcha. Now, quick question. So would you say that selling puts is a less risky strategy for investing rather than, because if you invested in Amazon and the stock goes down, then you could potentially lose money. So is this a little less risky or more concrete that we would actually make money in this?
It is if you don't get greedy.
Okay. Okay.
Diamond, you get it. Amazon's a great company. You saw I own 1,000 shares of it. So if
Yes.
Amazon goes from 178 down to 170, that's an $8 loss. That's $8,000 that I would have lost. It's unrealized, but that's $8,000. But
Mhm.
if Amazon goes down 170 and I'm selling the 165 put, nothing, I hadn't lost a thing. So to answer your question, it does reduce the risk because, like I said before, whether the stock goes up, stays the same, or goes down about 10 to 15%, I'm going to be a winner regardless.
Got you.
Okay,
And now with this strategy, when would you, so let's say you made the 335.
great question.
Do you pull then, or what do you do? What's the next step in that?
Well, great. Well, first of all, you get that money immediately. So if I were to click, because the market's open right now, so if I were to click that button that says review the order and hit it, this trade would go through, okay?
Got you.
So immediately $335 is in my account, and I in turn could spend that money, go out and buy myself a pair of shoes or have a nice lunch or something along that line. So that's the beautiful thing about it, okay?
Gotcha. And now I seen you, would you put in the limit price? Can you explain what that is and what that means?
Okay, right now, if you look over here to bid is basically what they're willing to pay, they being the market.
Okay.
So what I say is, because the stock market, you can see how this thing is jumping around. It's jumping, and Amazon's not a very volatile stock, meaning it moves up and down quite a bit.
Mhm.
So I have in my mind, if right now they're offering $3.40 a share, to make sure my order gets filled, I'm going to say limit, at least I want to make 335. In the event Amazon went down and down and down, the order would only get filled if I can make $3.35 a share. Of course, I could make it the full 340.
Okay.
I could go to 345, but again, I always do mine about 5 cents less because I've done the analysis and I really want to buy the stock. So I don't mind giving up 5 cents on 100 shares of stock.
Got you. Now, how do we pick a stock? So you say you did your analysis. How do we do our analysis to figure out what's a good trade or not?
That's good. I tell you, Dom, the first thing I always start with, so whether you sell puts,
Mhm.
whether people want to go ahead and buy stocks right now, I tell people, Dom, I don't know you that well, Dom, but I bet you like nice shoes.
I do.
And I bet you don't buy cheap shoes.
Good. Right.
Okay. So my point in saying all of that is the standpoint, don't buy cheap stock. There's
Ah,
a reason why stock is $10. There's a reason why a shoe is $19.99, you know?
gotcha.
So the first thing I recommend, again, whether you're selling puts, whether you are buying and holding or any other strategy, you want to make sure you invest in good quality stocks.
Gotcha.
So answer the question. The first thing I do, Diamond, is I recommend dealing only in the S&P 500 stocks, okay? Now, the S&P 500 are stocks that have been vetted by a community of investors, and
Gotcha.
they represent the 500 best stocks in the United States.
Okay.
They have looked at them as far as liquidity goes, meaning they have cash to pay their bills. They've looked at them in light of growth potential. And more importantly, they've looked at them in light of, do they represent the good old US economy? So
Gotcha.
the thousands of stocks that are being traded, only these 500 have made it. So I always start with the S&P 500, okay?
Okay.
Okay. The
Now,
second
is
thing,
there a list of the S&P 500? Where do we find that?
they are, if you went online and just simply Googled S&P 500,
Mhm.
you would find some names that you're familiar with. You'd find Amazon, you'd find Microsoft, you'd find Nike, you
Gotcha.
also would find Exxon Mobil. You would find a lot of things that you and I use on a day-to-day perspective. So I always start there, okay?
Sure.
Then the second thing, Diamond, I'm always looking at is earnings per share. In other
Okay.
words, I don't care how much buzz is in the community. There's only one reason that a stock should go up,
Mhm.
and that's because they have growing earnings per share. Uh,
Okay.
and if you look at Amazon, Amazon just announced earnings, and if they made 10 cents last year this time, I want to see they've made 12 cents. That's a 20% increase. So I'm looking for stocks that have a growing earnings per share because that means the stock is profitable. That means they're growing. And that's really the only time that you should really buy stock if it meets that criteria. Okay.
Okay.
And one final thing, so that I don't get too much in the details, people often say that a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Right.
We teach individuals how to read charts. Now, I know this may look like Greek to people, but I'm going to be very brief with it. Okay, again, being a retired CPA, I'm driven by math, and math really can predict the weather. Math can predict the number of accidents people are going to have, but also it can predict the stock market. This is something called Bollinger Bands, and here's the simple version. If you look at this top line there and this bottom line, from a mathematical perspective, there's a 90% chance over the next 45 days or so that the stock is going to stay within that band. I know it seems a little abstract now. So I use math, I use other analysis to say to me, and based on what this is telling me, it's a 90% probability that Amazon's going to stay between $188 and probably 177. Okay. Doing math based on history.
Got you. So in your program, do you tell us how to do that type of math so that we can identify, just as you did here?
We do, Diamond. Again, in our 5-day challenge, one of the big things I'm going to do, I call it my 4 Bs. I'm going to help people find the best stocks in the best industry or sectors at the best price in the best stock market. If people can learn that, and I'll go through about 20 different ways to analyze it, because I'm looking for not the hottest stock out there. I'm looking at the stock that has long-term growth potential. And if you can look at those 4 Bs, it's the best stock, it's in the best sector, at the best price, in the best stock market. If you follow those rules, then I help people find those kind of stocks so they can make money no matter whether they want to buy a hold or if they want to try to trade every week. That's what we do, Diamond.
Got you. Got you. Okay. And you mentioned the 5-day challenge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, when that starts, how people can join that?
All right. Well, that's going to start on May the 25th, or May 21st. I'm sorry, May 21st. May 21st is going to start. We're going to go 5 days, Tuesday through Saturday. And again, there'll be a link that people can click on. And what I will do, I will take 5 days, and there'll be different levels they can come in at as far as being able to ask questions, but everybody will get exposed to the 1 hour training. And then that 1 hour training, I'm going to take parts of my analysis, my checklist, both how I look at the financial part of things as well as even the chart. And I'm going to really pull up my account and I'm going to show them recent trades that I've made. I'm going to analyze those trades and tell them what I saw that I loved and what I did not like, to show them exactly what they're looking for. So when the 5 days are over, they will know how to find good stocks at good prices. And Diamond, they'll understand the concept of selling puts. And for those that are getting started in the market, they'll understand the concept called rangers. And I'll briefly explain that. Rangers simply mean that I help people find stocks that are trading in a range. For example, if you look at Amazon here, if you look there, Amazon, that this range for Amazon is trading for between $188 there. Notice hard to see, down to about 172. So as we really analyze, so if you go for the last 2 weeks, Amazon's going from 188 to 172. So I'm going to teach those who may not have a lot of resources right now, but who say, I want to understand the fundamentals of the stock market. We're going to show them how to find stocks like Amazon, how to analyze. They top out at 180, they bottom out at 172, and key things to look at when they maybe can buy that stock around 174, 175, show them how to let it ride up to about 185, and that's making a $10 per share profit within a week's time period.
Gotcha.
So whether you have 50,000 to invest or just maybe 2,000, the 5 days are going to give you various strategies that's going to help you find the best stocks at the best price.
Now, can you tell us what is the earning potential here?
Well, the earning potential, let's say on the, I'm going to say on selling puts, When I teach selling puts, the people that are getting started, my goal is for them to make 5 to 10% a month. Now, if you think about it, if you read literature, and rightfully so, if you can make 10% a year, that's outstanding. That's
Right,
outstanding.
right.
Uh, but again, with minimal risk, we're going to show you how to potentially make 5 to 10% a month in S&P 500s. So whether you're looking to sell puts or doing the Ranger concept, that's the goal, because we're only going to invest in quality things. It's not going to be based on a hunch, but a standard checklist of things that you look for. And if it meets those checklists and criteria, then you invest. And that's what we teach.
So when you say 5 to 10%, can you give us like a monetary
Okay,
example?
great. Let's say if somebody has $2,000.
Hmm.
I believe on that $2,000 doing Rangers for right now, doing Rangers, we can help you make about $150 to $200 per month. And that's being conservative per month,
Hmm.
because the Rangers move a little faster. But the person, Diamond, has to be willing not to get greedy, only invest in the S&P 500 and follow the criteria that we give them. So again, on 2000, you're looking at about 150 to $200 per month with minimal risk.
Got you. Now, how this is, it seems quite passive. How much maintenance needs to go into this? Like because I know things like with day trading, people are like glued to it and it's like ooh, up and down, and you constantly have to be looking at the market. How passive is this?
It's very passive. Again, I do a lot of reviewing for understanding, but I may make one trade a week and I don't look at the market every day. And remember, this is part of my passive income. So I'm involved a little bit more than most people. But if a person is willing to just maybe take 30 minutes a day to learn, and about once a week or once a month make a trade, because people have families, they have other commitments. So no, this is not like day trading.
Yeah.
It's not like swing trading. It gives you liberty and freedom as far as money goes, as well as your time also.
That's amazing. So now going into, what do you think is the, once you earn this money, what is the next steps? What do you recommend that people do with the money that they earn? Should they reinvest? Should they invest in other places? Do you have any recommendations on that?
Well, ultimately, it's going to depend on their goal. But I tell people this: you want to, number one, invest in your financial literacy. Of everything you can ever do, you have to invest in, like you're teaching. How do I build an online business?
Yeah.
How do I create content? How do I market online? That is by far going to be the best way to do. And as you begin to build your portfolio up, then I'm going to take some of that money and continue to invest in building my enterprise.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some of that money to invest in building my portfolio, and I'm going to take some of that money to eradicate debt. Every one of them, whether it be eradicating debt, whether it be building your portfolio, whether it be building an online business, every one of them creates passive cash flow. And when you do it once, it continues. So that would be my general recommendation.
Okay, that's awesome. So is there any more that you want to go over before the 5 day challenge? Or because I know I don't want you to get into too many details
Um,
because we don't want to overwhelm people, and you're going to be teaching this really in depth and break it down. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
I think that the people who need to attend, if you have any money in the stock market or you want to put some in there, it's worth. Even though my focal point is going to be selling puts as the primary, being able to find the right stock. Because if you're investing in your 401k plan or your retirement, you're in the stock market. But most people don't understand.
Right.
Some people want to get involved in the stock market, but I would recommend, if you have any desire to get into the market, join us, because the major thing I'm going to do is to teach you my 4 B's: how to find the best stocks at the best price in the best sector and in the best market. because when you're in the best market and sector, about half the reason a stock's going to go up is being in the right sector, like, of course, technology now, and a
Mhm.
market that's trending. So again, if you're any involved in the stock market, we can help you.
Awesome. Well, this is definitely something I'm interested in. So I will definitely be joining your 5-day challenge May 21st. So thank you so much, William, for joining us. And also before, as we're closing out, can you tell people where they can reach you at? So your website, your social media handles, anything, or your email, however you prefer to be reached out to.
Hey, the best place to reach out for me, Diamond, is directly my email. It's W Thompson, W Thompson 1004 at yahoo.com. And in the subjects, put down Diamond. If you do Diamond, you will get special priority. Again, W Thompson 1004 at yahoo.com. And you gotta mention Diamond. That way I'll give you special treatment the more so.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And now for the money makers that are listening, if you made it to this point of the video, I want you guys to leave me your most recent emoji in the comment section below so that I know that you guys are still listening, still watching, and that I can interact with as many of you as possible. So thank you so much, William, for joining us. And I'm super excited to learn more about puts and learning more about the stock market and how we can start creating passive income so we can gain freedom.
Diamond, thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you.